Hello, the purpose of this video is to go into when are you really hungry, what really is food, and how do you know when the food is benefiting you. Now some of you go, is this guy Des, because this is going on YouTube, is this guy Des crazy? Well, let's look at it like this. Most people have an idea when they get hungry, they get a pang in their stomach, or they get an ache or something happens in their body. They call that a hunger pain. Okay, so that means the body has a reaction, and then somebody says, I got to eat, a hamburger, some French fries, a steak dinner, some pasta, or whatever. Even for the vegetarians, which I'm a vegetarian, I have to have me some fruit, some vegetables. Well, I need you to consider this. If you were to think about us, or yourself, myself, as being a human being, and we're this physical entity. But what's inside the physical entity? So I had a conversation with a pastor about 2 years ago. And we had a very good conversation about people's ideology and philosophy about humans and human beings. I said, listen, so I have to explain this to you first. I'm going to go into about food because you have to get the basic concept. I said, Pastor, when a baby's born, what do? What happens? And after a while, he figured out they breathe in. I said, exactly. I said, you realize that if a baby doesn't breathe in, it's not alive. So in other words, something had to come into the body. I said, now, you should get the next thing very easily, Pastor. When a person dies, what happens? They breathe out. Even to go into more understanding of this whole thing about what really is food, because if you don't understand this part, this is what escapes most people. People will say, well, that doesn't prove anything, Des. Well, if you ever do a study on near-death experiences, and anybody that's listening to this video, you can go to your local hospital, you can speak to people you know, and people know people had near-death experiences. I have several friends who had near-death experiences. When people had near-death experiences, the people around them saw them breathing out, and when they came back to life, they breathed back in. So a common sense standpoint, at least for me, would say, there must be something to this. There must be something that's going into the body when the body becomes alive, and something that leaves the body when the body's dead. And it also states that, that means that this thing that goes into the body and out of the body, what is it? Now, many people call it spirit, Holy Ghost, whatever particular religion you are in, you have a different name. To me, it's a spirit. So my idea is, wow, so we're spirits that are dwelling inside these physical bodies. So the next logical question would be, what does the spirit eat? And this spirit, what is it really like? Now, for me, I'm one of these weird people. Well, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read the Christian religion, the Muslim religion, the Judaism, and the Buddhists. And so I used to read these books. There used to be a bookstore called East West Bookstore on 14th Street or 5th Avenue. They're long closed. And they used to have some fascinating books. I've read so many books. And it would always say the spirit is a spirit of love and beauty and excitement and enthusiasm. I said, so essentially, spirits are energetic bundles of love. So then I started to examine babies and how babies were. I said, babies are loving and they're full of vibrancy and beauty. But then I would watch how kids would develop, mainly due to their parents and their parents giving them the wrong information and society. And they would eventually become bitter. And we can see some of this on Facebook. We can see this some in our family and our friends and our associates. And that's not to say it's a good thing or bad thing, because I look at myself also. So I don't take myself out of this equation. But I said, wait a minute. So what happens to us? Along the way, we forget that the first food is the food of thinking. And that's why all these religious books says, man does not live by, what they put in their mouth, but basically what comes in your brain. So really, what are you thinking? What are you visualizing? What are your dreams? So if you were to ponder upon loving, beautiful things you can appreciate, you'll feel a difference in your body. So your first food, in actuality, is thinking. And when a person thinks, and there's been many studies about this, when you're in a positive state of mind, they'll say that, it affects your health. Because your spirit is the captain of your body. What happens to most people in our society, most people have given way to their body controlling their spirit. And this will become to those hunger pains. I get a pain. So what's normally happening at that point? Well, if you think about thinking as an energy and thinking as a vibration, that's something high. That's something untangible. When you take food, food is of a lower vibration. So it has to be that the original men did not eat food. It makes sense. Now, some of you say, wait a minute, Des, you're getting a little too far out there. Well, when I think about Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, Moses, all these men, and there were women too. I haven't mastered and remembered them all. All these people stopped eating and stopped drinking for 40 days, 50 days. And there are people today in society who don't eat 3 meals a day. They don't eat even 3 meals a week. I have Facebook friends who fast 7 months, 9 months every year. I mean, they don't eat at all. And you know, all these people have this miraculous health. They have this super energy. They develop photographic memory. So what's happening? Well, maybe because they've elevated back to their true spiritual self. So when you're really hungry, when you feel depressed, you're hungry to feel happy, not to put food in your mouth. When you feel frustrated, you're hungry to feel enlightened or get an understanding. So in those emotional states that plague you and that bother you, the first thing you want to do is learn how to think correctly. This is why I say, you know, one of the reasons why a lot of people get sick is because they think incorrectly. They think, well, I'm upset in front. Let me get the ice cream. Let me get the chicken. Let me smoke a cigar. No. What you're doing is you just allowed yourself to get involved in a lower vibratory habit. And we would call that an addiction. This is why when you see a person that's on crack or cocaine or heroin, well, what's happening is they've allowed these physical entities in their system, and they forgot that they're these beings of light and love, and they don't even know how to feel anymore. So every time they have to keep going back, they keep going back. If they don't go back, they're going to have withdrawal symptoms. That's why when you get up and I can't, if I don't have my coffee, I'm bitter. Well, that means you're an addict. If I don't eat any food, if I don't have my bacon and eggs, I'm upset. You're an addict. You're an addict. So what I'm saying is that the majority of people in our society are addicts of food. Because, and the only way you'll know it is you start to go about purifying yourself with, high vibrational foods, high vibrational thinking, fasting. A good way is to take in a lot of liquids, green juices. This is why this whole thing is becoming a big wave around the world, because people are now starting to become enlightened and waking up, because many people have been asleep. Many people have been deceived and duped by the media, by what you see around you. You walk outside your door, and in a 10-block radius, you have the pizza shop, the grocery store, 7-Eleven, this, that. And people don't think that the very grass fields, the very dandelion that grows in your yard, all these herbs that will enlighten you, that will literally take you to another higher level, that's what heals you. This is why I've said many times in these videos I've done, all diseases can be healed. The reason why people don't get healed because people are ignorant to what real food is. People ignorantly kill themselves systematically, day by day, minute by minute, with their improper thinking and the improper taking in of liquids that are acidic, and acidic liquids don't allow you to breathe correctly. They stunt your body. They take in acidic foods, when really they want to take in alkaline foods, have alkaline thinking. They want to have living foods. They want to breathe in pure air. They don't want to get involved in having a habit of breathing in tools that give you carbon dioxide. Your body survives the carbon dioxide. So I always say when people do things that bring in carbon dioxide, that's weird to me. Even marijuana. When you're smoking marijuana, you're letting carbon dioxide go into your system. You're slowly killing yourself. So real food, or when you're really hungry, it is to satisfy you. It's to take you back to your original state. Your original state is a state of love. Your original state is a state of bliss. Your original state is a state of harmony. So some of the things you might want to do when you get up in the morning is when you lay in the bed and you assess how your feet feel, your back feels, know that you're supposed to feel in a state of bliss all throughout your body. You're not supposed to be having backaches and headaches, and that's unnatural. That means you've allowed lower vibratory food, lower vibratory thinking, lower vibratory drugs, lower vibratory attitudes, lower vibratory habits to run your life, and now you've manifested a lower vibratory reality. You want to manifest a higher vibratory reality, which is love, light, spirit. Spirit don't need physical food. Spirit does need uplifted thinking. Spirit will be aided when you're taking in pure oxygen into your body, which will heal the body. And as it heals the body, then the spirit will be more close to where its center of light and love. Spirit will feel more close to you when you take in more high vibratory liquids, more high vibratory foods like salads, raw fruits. All right. When you start doing that, the key thing is real hunger is not the gargling in your stomach. That's a signal that you have an addiction. When you can't stop eating, you're an addict. And just to prove a point to all my, especially religious folks, all my religious folks say, well, Des, there's nothing more important than Allah and Jesus and Buddha. And I tell people, I said, do you realize what you're saying? I believe that's true. So when you tell me I can't go out a week without eating no food, that means you've said you want to ingest a lower vibratory thing as opposed to focusing on your very God. So do I really think you understand what you study? I don't know. This is a question to me. Do you understand that? Think about that, folks. 'Cause, I tell people I never claim to say I'm a Jehovah's Witness, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish. I never claim that. I tell people I'm spiritual, because when you say there's nothing more important on Allah than Jesus and Buddha and all these people, and then you can't give up a low vibratory thing, you just said that you eat and that you ingest low vibratory things. And the thing that you ingest, the thing that you take in, is what you'll eventually manifest. And this is actually the simplicity of how you see people manifest their diseases. This is the simplicity of how you see people manifest their health. It's really very simple. It is not complicated. When you honor your mother and father, and I mean Mother Nature. I love my mother, I love my father, and they might be mad because I say this, but Mother Nature trumps my mom. I love your mom. Father Nature trumps my father. What's Mother Nature? Thinking on a higher level. Mother Nature is taking in distilled water, purified water, living water. Mother Nature is drinking the alkaline juices of fruits and vegetables and apples and pears and oranges. Mother Nature is drinking the vegetables, juice of Swiss chard and spinach, dandelion is like, because your life's in your blood. So what's real hunger? Hunger is saying when you have a backache, your soul is saying you're doing something wrong in the way you live your life and your dietary habits. You must stop doing that. Everybody's heard the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So when you meet these weird vegetarian, raw food, fasting people, and they go on these fasting regimens and they see how their spirit rises, their health rises, their energy rises, and they go, and they try to tell their friends and family, like, listen, like, this is not difficult. We've been programmed to do something that is killing us. you have to say to yourself, well, if they're crazy, let me prove they're crazy. Because that's what I was. I heard this message years ago. I said, these people are crazy. Then I said, well, let me try it. Let me try fasting. Let me try eating a vegetarian diet. And you know what? I can't deny how uplifted I feel. Then I heard about people by Hilton Hotema who wrote some really great books. Arnold Ehret is one of the great books I wrote, but not wrote, but I read. I have a gentleman that has a great Facebook page on mucusless diet healing system, and Professor Spira. He has another gentleman that speaks a lot named Brother Air. Brother Air, this guy, this gentleman, I don't know him. He'll fast for 10 months out the year. And many times he'll go 2 or 3 days without even drinking any water. Super health, super strength, super vibrant. Because men are not animals. Men are spirits inside a physical body. What happens is men have become addicted to the food regimen that we are in today. Now, I'm not saying go out there and hate food or anything like that, but I want you just to ponder that for a second. What is real hunger? Real hunger is you're hungering for returning back to who you really are. You're blissful, special, energetic, living spirits of love. If you're not feeling that in your life 24 hours a day, then you're an addict, just like you see a drug addict on the street. You got the shakes, you just have a shake that is acceptable by the masses. So we have an acceptable addiction by the masses. You see an awakening with all the different health food information and raw food information and breatharian information that's being passed out throughout society. What's real, when you're really hungry, when you have aches and pains in your body, when you have aches and pains in your body and disease, when your body's racked with issues you can't walk and talk and you can't see, then it's telling you that you're doing the wrong thing. You have to stop doing it. You have to do something differently. The same way you see a drug addict on the street and you see a drug addict like, why don't you stop taking drugs? You say, that's crazy. What do you think vegetarians say to people who keep eating meat, who keep eating food that helps them? They go, well, why don't you stop doing that? I told them what to do. Now, I tell people, you do what you want to do. Learn for yourself, folks. You know, everything's experience. I grew up eating meat. I don't hate meat. I don't hate grains. I don't mention grains because even rice affects you. Oats, all that stuff affects you. Quinoa, even I like quinoa, that affects you. You know, until you go through this process, then you don't really know. When you go through the process, you see how you feel. When you see how just the very act of breathing gives you an orgasmic state, you say to yourself, whoa, is this what life's all about? Real hunger is returning back to your spiritual state. So when anything outside of feeling in a blissful state of happiness, love, and jubilation, that means you're hungry for thinking a certain way. You're hungry to breathe pure air, which is going to, fill your body with oxygen that's going to give you healing. Real hunger is putting those type of liquids in your body, alkaline liquids that's going to rejuvenate you, it's going to turn you to light. In closing, all I would say to you is this, and I'm doing this, I didn't write any notes down for this. Whenever you are hungry and you get ready to eat something, ask yourself these questions. Is this food I'm eating, will it empower me? Will it put energy? Is it a living entity to uplift me? Is this liquid a living entity? Do I really think beer is going to put me in a great state? Do I really think a fancy alcohol is going to put me in a fancy state, a great state? Really? Do I think beer, alcohol, and rice is going to spark the inner spirit in my blood to make me come alive? If the answer to that is yes, then eat it. But I would say this, try periodic fasting. Go on smoothie diets or dietary habits. Develop drinking green smoothies. Develop drinking green juices and tell me if you don't see a difference. I didn't expect this video to be that long, but I did want to go into what is real food, How do you know food is real, and how do you know it's affecting you? Hopefully this has benefited you. More videos are going to be coming out. I failed to mention a business partner, TD Loving, from Fresh Start Focus Wellness Group. I look forward to the many things we'll be able to provide you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need information and consultation, we do have packages that we can help you through some of the issues that you have. I'm excited about it. Until next time, good day. God bless.